Colin Martin. It's time for another edition of This Weekend in Harris County. We're going to go to the Farmers Market Co-op and see what they've got going there. Local grown vegetables right here in Harris County. Come visit us here and buy what's grown locally. We'll be right back. Hey, I'm Colin Martin. We're here with John Willis Sr. at the Co-op Farmers Market. Here it's the Chipley Co-op Farmers Market Co-op.
Well, it's the Chipley Co-op, which has two divisions. One is the Farmers Market, which is where we are. The other is the Shared Community Kitchen, which is in another part of the building.
Okay, so we're going to talk actually probably about both today. So this is a pretty interesting place. All of your product here is grown locally, correct?
It is grown locally as long as there are local vegetables available.
Okay.
My family has been growing tomatoes on the west coast of Florida for 140 years. I have become quite familiar with the agricultural industry for vegetables during that period of time and what my ancestors told me and whatever. But anyhow, when we are out of tomatoes, when we're out of a given vegetable, we feel like that the farmers market should still be of a service to the community. And as a result, because I happen to know there is a farmer over in Raven County that grows super good tomatoes and don't put them in the packing house and sends them to a friend of mine in LaGrange. When we are out of tomatoes locally, I can get those, or I can still get some most of the time from people or farms that I'm familiar with, either in Georgia, Florida, or otherwise.
Okay. So
we specialize in local things. We're here basically to serve the local grower, but we extend that deal to serve the residents of the community with vegetables when we can get them from a source we're familiar with.
So this is the first week of September. What have you got coming in right now?
Right now we have the last of the tomatoes. We just sold the last of the peaches this last weekend. There is a gentleman over at Woodbury that has one of the larger peach plantings in the state. And he also, when his peaches are over, has contract, either owns or has contracts with some of the orchards in North Georgia for apples. And we did get the first apples of the season when we went to help with the downtown market Saturday. And we will have those throughout the winter, probably until February.
That's great news. I mean, at peach time.
But so it's that type of thing, Cole, and it's, you know, because I know where stuff is and where it comes from.
Right.
We try to have stuff here not only from the local growers, and of course that is the primary thing, but we also like to have something for the people that's available that we know is a little better and they'll get it most stores. So
one of the things you got here is a butter-kissed peanuts that's got a year model 1928. You've told me about it before, but tell me again.
All right, the story is my father and my family had an old country store in the little town of Ruskin, south of Tampa. And my godfather figured that I was big enough to do something when I was getting close to 6. So just before my 6th birthday, which is a little over 80 years ago, he gave me this peanut parching machine. If you're old South, they're parched peanuts. If you're modern day, they're roasted peanuts, but irregardless. He would help me set it up in front of the family store on Saturday morning, and I would run the peanuts and then bag them. And the little bags were about, 3 inches wide and 2 inches deep and about 5 inches high. And in those days, that was a nickel's worth of peanuts. Nowadays, the same bag is about $1 better. But anyhow.
I understand.
But no, but the machine was out of service for a long time. And we got it restored and got the original motor. It's all original except the motor has been rewound, but it's the original motor.
So, and then I'm looking here at a pea sheller. Tell me about the pea sheller.
The pea sheller is something that a lot of people, well, number one, we found that the young ladies, when they come to the store, and we can have some beautiful fresh peas on the shelf, but they don't seem to be inclined to purchase those. And so we found that if we shell them, and put them in bags ready for them to put in the pot with the seasoning, well, they're very happy about that. So we got a number of people in the community to, like everything with this, it's all community, it's all volunteer, there's no money goes to anybody's pocket except the growers and so forth. But anyhow, we found a number of people and took up a collection. This machine is built down in Moultrie, Georgia, and we went down and bought one.
All right, so you can buy your peas there, shell them here, and then cook them at home.
Well, you will go further than that. If you buy them from one of our growers or anywhere else, and you want to get them shelled, we will either shell them for you or let you use the machine to shell them, and it won't cost you enough that you need to worry about it.
Sounds like a good deal to me. So tell me the hours here.
The hours here currently are Tuesday and Thursday 9 to 1, Friday 4 to 6, and Saturday 9 to 2. Sometime toward the latter part of next month, October, we will drop the Friday evening hours. Then just before Christmas, we will drop the Thursday hours, but we will be open even from the 1st of January until April, Tuesday and Saturday. Because we still have, like I say, sources enough to get good produce that we feel like would be of a service to the people, and we stay open during that. The other thing is we have a lot of things that some people might regard as salvage, but actually if one of our growers, for instance, has an excess of collards in the spring, rather than dump them or with not enough hog pens anymore to consume them, so we take those and we process them, wash 3 times and frozen like my grandmother used to do. And we got those, and in our freezer here, the store freezer has frozen collards, frozen corn, and other beans and so forth that were excess or ones that didn't sell fresh. It also has frozen sweet potato pies and 2 types of bread pudding that's ready for folks to take home and put in the oven.
Bread pudding, you got my attention.
Okay, and then the other thing is we buy a few commercial pecans and also a lot of local pecans to help the people out that need to pick them up. And we use the pecan cracker to crack them. We shell out a lot of those. Anything that we have left in the shell in the 1st of April, we shell. We bag them and put them in the freezer, and like currently we still have a few of the pecans that were shelled from this last year's crop, or this year's current crop, I guess would be the terminology. And we take that, and we take those and have them here in the freezer. We still have a lot of people that buy the pecans all summer, but they're frozen because you can put them in your freezer and keep them for several years.
Well, I tell you what, this is a great gym here. If you want to buy local produce, come to this the Farmers Market Co-op, see what all the great vegetables are, and support local farmers, support this volunteer organization, and You know, folks, if you don't live in Harris County, we welcome you just as much to come spend your money here. We're going to take a look at some other events coming up this weekend in Harris County, and we'll be back in just a minute. You know, that farmer's market, it's a great place. It's even got a kitchen. You can come can your own vegetables. Come to the events this weekend in Harris County. Come visit us, see what all we have to offer, spend some money, eat local. It's a great weekend to come to Harris County. We'll see you this weekend.